GM everyone. Hello and welcome to yet another Developer Skills. Today we have a very nice discussion with Justin from Lulo, which is one of the leading yield aggregators. And I'm very excited about this product personally because I am using it myself as well. If you're curious about how to integrate it even in your code or use it personally, feel free to do so. And without further ado, let's invite Justin to the stage. Hello, Justin.
GM. Hello, everyone. Cool. All right. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Everything works.
We can hear you. Yeah. If you have any comments, just drop it in the chat. We are live on YouTube and Twitter, so feel free.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for the introduction, Mike. My name is Justin. Working for Lulo as a software engineer. And yeah, I'm gonna introduce Lulo. Show you how to integrate it with our recently launched product, Protected and Boosted, and that's the plan for today.
Very nice. Do you guys have ever heard about Lulo before, or do you maybe use it personally? If so, drop it in the chat. And yeah, if you have questions regarding any of like things during this presentation, we will do it very interactively. So just write a comment. We will directly deal with it. And the schedule for today is Justin will introduce Lulo, and then later on we will have a Q&A session. So, or like a more of discussion about this product.
Perfect.
Very nice to hear we have users that use it personally. That's great. Yeah, maybe you can learn how to integrate it in your next startup or project even.
All right. Should we start?
Yes, sure.
Awesome. All right. Let me give you a short presentation about what Lulo is for everyone who doesn't know Lulo yet. We call ourselves the modern way to grow your wealth. We are today the leading stablecoin yield aggregator. We manage over 100 million in stablecoins right now. We call it directed liquidity, not TVL, because in the end, the assets are deposited into underlying protocols like MarginFi, Camino, and Co. We have about 20,000 users, and as far as the feedback telling us people love our brand and our product. Why stablecoins? Just look at this chart. Stablecoin is a mega trend, growing fast, especially on Solana. Stablecoins probably the main use case we all see today on the blockchain. Makes it easy to do transfers, to earn yield, to do all kind of daily businesses. What are we doing exactly? So we just recently launched Lulo Protect. The Lulo Protect is basically a new product which is an abstraction on top of current lending and borrowing protocols. We offer two types, which is protected first. It comes with a lower risk profile, and that also means a lower yield because, as always, higher risk tends to give higher yields. And those protected deposits are protected by boosted deposits. So if you want to deposit into Lulo, you can choose between those two options. And we have also a classic, which is an old option, which we won't cover today, but you can still use it. And boosted deposits earn the higher yield. They get a percentage of the yield from protected. And in exchange, they protect the protected deposits. And they have no protection on their own. Those are the protocols we have integrated with Protected. Drift, MarginFi, Camino, and Safe, and Drift and Camino both come with JLP, and Camino also with the alt markets. Means that we just support all main lending pools those platforms have, and additionally to that, we offer the JLP and altcoin markets. And those protocols are already audited and you could say to some extent they are safe as it gets with audits. And on top of that, we even built this protected boosted abstraction. And let me show you how that works exactly. As an example here, those are artificial numbers, not actual live numbers. Just to show you how protected works, imagine we have a total of 10 million US stablecoins deposited into protected and 11 million deposited into boosted. And we have a coverage ratio of 2. The coverage ratio basically means how many how much protected can be deposited and be 100% protected all the time. The coverage ratio is multiplied by the boosted deposits, and this number is the total capacity that you can see here. The total capacity is basically a number that tells you how much of protected deposits can be currently go into Lulo and be covered. In this example here, only 10 million is deposited. So out of this 22 million in capacity, 10 million is only taken or filled, and the remaining capacity is 12 million. So what would happen in the case of a hack right now? And why is the coverage ratio 2 here? Those are not just made up numbers. So in this case, we decided that we have 3 protocols we are depositing users' funds into, and we split the funds equally across all those protocols. So we have 10 million and 11 million, which is 21 million in total. So we put 7 million in each of those protocols. So Lulo Protect now gives you the guarantee that if one protocol has bad debt or is hacked, very important, one protocol at a time, not multiple simultaneously, that boosted deposits can always cover the loss of funds. Very simple. If Camino JLP or Camino in general got exploited or generated bad debt for some reason, and those 7 million are gone, we still have the 7 million from Drift and the other 7 million from MarginFi, which is in total 40 million, which is enough to cover the 10 million from Protected. Boosted takes loss first. So in that example, if Camino's 7 million would have been totally gone, we have 40 million left. So 10 million need to go to Protected, and the other remaining 4 million of those 14 million would still be available to boosted users. And then the funds are just like on every other protocol socialized. So this is quite an easy example. In this case, there are less protected deposits than boosted deposits. So obviously, there is enough of both boosted deposits to cover protected. But what happens if we have more protected deposits than boosted deposits? It's actually still the same. So in this example, we have 19 million. Would only 1/3 of protected be affected in this case? No, not of protected. So boosted and protected are just, they live together. They're just virtually abstracted and protected and boosted because only Camino is going down. No, exactly. So of the total of 21 million from protected and boosted, only 7 million would be affected in that case. Exactly. This is 1/3. Not of particularly of protected, but of protected and boosted together. And as it's only 7 million, we still have 40 million left, and those 40 million are still enough to cover protected in the case of loss of funds. Is that an answer to your question? Give me a quick yes or no, please, in the chat. Perfect. All right, so let's continue with this example. In this example, we have 19 million deposits into protected and only 11 million deposits into boosted, which is in total 30 million. So you can see those 3 protocols each get 10 million. But how does it work now in the case of hack? So let's have a look at the capacity bar again. So total capacity is 22 million. Again, because the coverage ratio is 2 and the boosted deposits are 11 million, so 2 times 11 million is 22 million. And this time the full capacity is already at 19 million and only 3 million is left. But this is still good. That still works out because 19 is obviously less than 22. And in the case of a hack, let's do the quick math again. Let's say Camino again got hacked. The 10 million from Camino are gone. But we still have those 20 million from the other protocols left, which is enough to cover the 19 million from protected. So in this case, obviously the loss is way, way bigger for boosted, but protected, as the system works and is designed for, is always 100% protected by those funds. So this is roughly how Lulo Protect works. There's more in our documentation at docs.lulo.fi. But yeah, so the coverage ratio is also always basically the amount of protocols we split the funds across minus 1, because this will always ensure that the other remaining protocols that are not hacked have enough funds to cover protected. Yeah, sweet. Feel free to ask any more questions about that. Otherwise, let me continue.
I maybe have a question for that.
Yeah.
What would happen if like one protocol liquidates, then you have like you're still secured, but then again there's an imbalance, right? So the boosted would only have in this case $1 million left.
Yeah.
And what would be the counteracts following upon that? Then the protected boost wouldn't be protected anymore, right?
This is correct. In this case, in the case of actually an hack or exploit some protocol, which causes a loss that is so high that boosted won't cover protected anymore, the funds are going out of protected and of boosted. They are moved to a separate vault, basically, which is safe space, so they don't sit in the protocols anymore.
I see.
So
this protocol is currently for USDC, right? As I see it online.
You mean Lulo? You mean protected and boosted?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's only USDC for now. We'll see if we add other stablecoins in the future. It really depends on how much makes sense to do that, because everyone is earning the same yield regardless of the token you deposit, because all user funds are pooled in this model. So let's see. Can't say that we add tokens in the future, but it really depends on the situations we see in the market.
All right.
Sweet. All right. This was a quick overview about Lulo Protect. Now, maybe you saw it yesterday, maybe not. Lulo just got integrated into Fuse. You hopefully know Fuse already. It's probably the safest and best crypto consumer app we have, crypto consumer wallet. And they integrated Lulo Protect especially. And today I want to show you how you can basically do the same, or you can just take Lulo and integrate it in whatever application you have. So you'll be able to offer your users protected yield or even boosted yield, whatever you prefer to offer to your users. But we will do exactly what Fuse did, basically, in a very short tutorial. Nice, cool. Any more questions before we go into the code? No more questions. Awesome. I'm just going to share this Notion document here. Or maybe Mike, you can share it again in the comment section too. Perfect, exactly.
This will be probably hard to read, but I will leave it on for a couple of minutes. So if somebody would like to type it off, then they can still feel free to do so. And I will also post it in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, this is a very rough documentation of our API. So we'll basically walk through how you can generate deposit and withdraw transactions via our API, and how you can then also fetch current account data which shows you what are the deposited user funds, how much interest did the user earn already, and stuff like that. Sweet. I already prepared a repository here. Let me quickly show you what it looks like right now. This is our rough AI generated UI we'll be using today. So we'll have just a wall connect button up here. Then we show the current portfolio overview, total value, total deposit value of the user, total interest earned, a deposit and a withdraw dialog where you can choose between protected and boosted, and an amount and then deposit. And depending on how far we get, we will also be able to implement pending withdrawals and some pool information. Something I forgot about boosted. Boosted has a 24-hour cooldown period. So if you try to withdraw funds from boosted, you have to wait 24 hours before you can claim those funds. So you initiate first the withdrawal, and then 24 hours later you can claim the funds. This is just a mechanic to protect the protected funds against the bank run, basically. So in case of a hack, the boosted funds can't be just withdrawn and begun. We need to make sure that the system is still covered. So every withdrawal has this 24-hour cooldown period. Exactly. Sweet. All right. I'd say we just first start with a something very simple, which is we get the account data first. So we're gonna create a. Oh, Mike, by the way, is everything readable? Is the font big enough?
It might be a little bit small, as I see it. If you could make it a bit larger, that would be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Because we also have people joining from Twitter, and then they on their phones.
Okay. So this is the new. Hope this is fine now. Let me check. Maybe even bigger. So that should be good. I hope so.
I think that should be doable.
Files are still relatively small, but anyways, we're gonna create a hook which is called use account. And this hook basically will fetch us our account data. So we won't be using any fancy. Let me check actually. Do I have React Query already installed? I don't. I do. I hope you're all familiar with React Query, which is just a fancy way to fetch data. So, okay. So first we write a function, an async function, get account, which is going to fetch from the Lulo API. Let me check quickly in the docs what the URL was again. Fetch account balance. So this is the endpoint. api.lulo.fi /v1/account.getAccount. That's what we're calling here. And we are adding, we need an owner of the Lulo account, which is a string or public key. And then we just add this as a URL search parameter. At the end, just like that. So we await that, and for now we just gonna print that JSON very quickly. So console.log data. Account. Perfect. And then we return the data from this hook and export the hook. So what happens here, I hope you all have some level of knowledge about TypeScript and stuff. So just create a function get account which fetches from this endpoint and appends the owner's your search parameter at the end. And then we're going to print out the data for now. The React query hook here basically just make sure it's cached, and there's all this error handling handled already and stuff. So and we use the public key from the connected wallet here as a parameter. So let's call it quickly from some component. We have this portfolio overview here, which still holds mock data. So we just do this for now. Const data is gleich. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Alrighty. Sweet. So if we go over to our application now, we're gonna see in the console. Perfect. We got the error first because word was not connected yet, but here. Let me increase font size again. Able to increase the font size. Sorry about that. Okay, let's reload once again. Sorry. Yeah, but here you can see the data roughly. Let me copy that over to here really quick. JSON.string fat data 2. Now, perfect. So this is the API response here. Just paste it here for a second. So we have total USD value, total LUSD, USD balance, PUSD, USD balance, and then what we can withdraw. This is an account that was already in use. So this is my private address, and it already has some USD deposited. To be more specific, it has an LUSD USD balance. LUSD is the boosted type of token we have internally. So yeah, this account basically has 37.66 USD deposited into boosted right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and display this very quickly. We do this first. So a public key. We just do enable this public key. So this makes sure we only fetch from this endpoint when there's actually a public key connected to our application. And now we do quick type, which is account data, which holds those values. Perfect. To interest earned. And nice. Sweet. Now we say that this is as account data. I know this is all casted and not properly typed, but this is okay for this tutorial. So let's go back here. We return the data like that. We do an is fetched as well. Okay, sweet. So just to have a look at the UI again, we have our total value here and total interest earned, and now we're going to replace those two values with our actual account data. So what we're going to do here is fetched. We might not even use this fetch today. So let's just do data dot total USD value or 0 if it's not a value right now. And the same here for total interest earned. We replace our total interest earned by data dot total interest earned. If it's not fetched yet, or if it's just null or undefined, we do 0. Let's go back and check. Sweet. So now we're able to display already what account balances a user has. Quick recap. We have our account endpoint here. We just append the owner parameter at the end. And then we fetch, and then we cast it to this type, and then we can use it here. So let's make it a little prettier by doing dot to fixed 2. Same here, so we just don't have those 10 decimal numbers. And voila, this looks relatively fine already. Sweet. Okay. Next, what we want to do is we want to be able to deposit and withdraw both. So for that first, let's start with depositing. We have our deposit dialog here, which is a very long AI generated component, but in short, we have those two tabs basically, or we have this toggle here between protect and boosted. We have this input field, and whatever we input here should be deposited. Perfect. So we have balance here. We have this input field here. We have the deposit button here. So let's quickly write a new hook called use deposit. This hook will basically give us all the functionalities to deposit funds. This already looks pretty fine. Okay, so let's have a look at the API documentation again. And we offer this endpoint to deposit funds. This endpoint can already handle both boosted, protected, or both at the same time. So we have the protected amount and regular amount. The API got created a bit earlier before we decide on the name boosted. So regular is the equivalent for boosted. We can enter protected amount here, or we enter regular amount, or we enter both. But one of both have to be bigger than 1. The minimum amount is always 1 USD. We ignore the referral for now. But yeah, this is basically our request. So let's try to let AI figure out what to do. This looks good already. We do it a priority fee at the end of 50,000 land pods. Body's already here as well. And the owner is the public key again. So this also this uses public key again from use wallet. And by that, we are already pretty good to go. So let's print again what this fetch returns first before we continue. So log response data console.log data. Sweet. And return deposit from this hook. Cool. Now let's check the deposit dialog quickly. If we click on the deposit button, let's do an on-click. Const deposits, like use deposit. On click deposit. No duplicate identifier. Oh, here's our click already. Oops, perfect. All right, and let's take the amount that is probably in the state already. Perfect. Okay, easy peasy. It looks good. All right, so we now use the use deposit hook, which has the deposit method in it. And we'll print out the data again we receive from the endpoint. So let's give it a quick shot. Look at the console. And then we try to deposit. Perfect. And we get back some instructions here. There's actually the wrong endpoint I called, I think. Let me check again. The instructions endpoint, that was wrong. So we have two endpoints. One endpoint is just returning plain instructions, whereas the other endpoint, that's that one that we want to use, is already generating the actual transaction and serializing it for us. So let's go back. So instead of generate instructions.deposit, we want to generate transactions.deposit. That's probably what we want to use. Yeah, transactions. Let's head over again, and this should now, instead of instructions, it should give us exactly an already serialized transaction object. So just to make bigger again what we got back here, we got back from this endpoint this long serialized transaction. What we can do now is we can just deserialize that transaction and we can send it and we're good to go already. So let's try to do that. Deposit dialog. So we turn this into an async callback here. We await the data, which is the transaction object. This means the type for the response is deposit response equals transaction string. Perfect. So what we're going to do here is we await this, and then we have data.transaction, and this transaction is our serialized transaction. And this is what we can use now to recreate the transaction, sign it, and send it. And deserializing a transaction is quite simple, actually. We can just do this right here. We do a version transaction, imported from Solana with 3.js, and we do data.transaction here. And we need to deserialize base64 string, basically. And this will give us back an actual versioned transaction object, which we can then use to sign and send. So for that, we're going to do const I'm going to do sign send transaction. So we await here send transaction from our use wallet, and then we do a transaction, and we also need our connection, which we get from use connection. And we append that here too. And then we're already pretty good to go. Yeah, we just we can now probably just let me quickly check. We need to check if the transaction got confirmed. We can do that by getting the signature status of the transaction. This changed with the new Agave 2.0 RPC versions. So this is status basically of the signature. So this will return a signature for us. Signature. And we can now check if the signature has a certain status. So we just do while true. This is super bad code, I know, but we're gonna do that for this now. We do await new promise. Pretty much like that. And then we check if the status, the only status we care about is status 0, because we're only submitting one signature here. So what we're going to do now is we do this. We check if const status is equal to status is 0. And then if status dot confirmation status is equal to confirmed, too many, we are happy, and we can have a break. We can for now we just do a console.log transaction confirmed. And yeah, eventually, if it never confirms for some reason, we just refresh the page for now. Alrighty, so let's go back to our application. Let's see if that works. So we click on deposit. We ignore that we have a wrong balance here. We haven't implemented yet to check the user's actual balance. But all is USDC based, as Mike said already earlier. So I can also quickly check what my wallet actually has inside here. It's 50 USDC. So 10 should be fine. We deposit, and we already get the transaction, which shows minus 10 USDC. We can confirm that now. And it already printed transaction confirmed. If I'm gonna reload now, we should see 47.67 probably. Exactly. So this worked pretty well already. One thing I did wrong here is we did both protected amount and regular amount here, so we need to actually supply something else here, which is we want to do protected amount number and perfect. So we want to do exactly like that. So we have protected amount or regular amount here. And we will now be able to say here explicitly, this is for whatever type we have chosen. So check where we here selected pool is protected, or selected pool is, I assume, yeah, we have boosted and we have protected here as the values. So we're gonna say if const body is equals to regular amount, selected pools equals boosted, then we do the number dot parse float. Perfect. No, this is not right. Number dot parse float amount or undefined, and if it's protected, then we do protected amount selected pool equals to protected number dot parse float amount or undefined. Sweet. And now we can just do body here, which is exactly what we need. So to make sure again that worked fine, we're going to do another deposit. We can do 5 USDC of protected again. Looks good. And now we try with boosted again. We do 5 USDC for boosted. And that also worked fine. Perfect. So now we should have, again, exactly our balance increased by 10. So we did deposit another 5 of protected and another 5 of boosted. Also to show more details here, actually, that better proves what happened, we're gonna add 2 more values here. We do boosted value and we do protected value. We do here boosted is LUSD balance, as I said previously, and protected is PUSD USD balance. So let's have a check again. We see boosted value is 42, protected is 15. If we now go to deposit another 5 protected, we see that protected increased, hopefully. Let's reload. Perfect. Protected is now 20. If I go to deposit 5 of boosted again, and reload, it should go from 42 to 47, hopefully. And it broke. Perfect. That's already it to just deposit and show some data. So we have those 2 hooks, which is one user account, which is literally just this line of code to fetch the data. And this is the type for it. And for deposit, we just call, we're also going to move that away from here quickly. Create deposit transaction. And public key string. And we do the same here now. This looks good. Perfect. So we have this function to very, very simply fetch a deposit transaction from this endpoint. We supplied the owner. We supplied the mint address. Very important. I forgot to mention that. We need to supply an USDC mint address here, because everything is USDC based. And then we we supply protected and or a regular amount, which has to be greater than 1. And this is, as said, all it takes to deposit into Lulo. With that, we can check what the current account balances are. And now we have some minutes left, but basically to withdraw, it's pretty much the same as we did for deposit. So the withdraw dialog also looks the same. We will now to integrate this method here for protected. This endpoint generates a transaction for withdrawing protected, takes an amount, the owner, so just the user, and again the USDC mint address. For boosted, it would work slightly differently. As I said, a boosted has 24-hour cooldown period. So for boosted withdrawals, we will need to do the initiate step first. Initiate basically means, okay, I want to withdraw 20 USDC, start the 24-hour cooldown period now. And after 24 hours, you can call this complete withdrawal method endpoint, which will generate another transaction which actually kind of completes the withdrawal of the boosted. And this will then actually, so this here will not give you any information, like the transaction simulation will just show that you have to spend some SOL for creating the temporary account for this withdrawal. And the complete withdrawal will show you the actual amount you will receive in the simulation too, because at this stage, you actually get the money back. And this only happens after you already went through this 24-hour cooldown period. Sweet. Okay. So, Mike, we only have like 9 minutes left, I think. What do you think? Should we jump into some Q&A first before I?
Yeah, maybe a question direct from the start. We see here there is an XAPI key needed for other calls. How can you get one of those, or developers who would like to integrate it?
Yeah, just go to our Discord, discord.gg/Lulo. And then you can create a ticket, ask for an API key. Very, very easy.
Like this, I suppose.
Exactly. That should be it, yeah. Otherwise, let me check the. Yeah, discord.gg/Lulo. Exactly. That's our Discord. Just join, go into the support section, create a ticket, and ask for an API key. And then you're good to go.
All right, perfect. Well, first of all, thank you for this presentation. I think it was pretty simple to integrate everything that you mentioned. And does it fulfill all functions that you can also do directly through the Lulo dashboard?
Pretty much, yeah. So the deposit is exactly what I just showed you. Maybe we just have a look at Lulo.fi for a second. So if exactly here, I choose between withdraw and deposit. I choose protected, boosted, or classic. We didn't cover classic today because classic is kind of our older product, and we are trying to get boost and protect to the people. But basically, you just choose again here between boost and protected and an amount, and then the exact same thing happens as I just showed here in this little workshop. We just call this API endpoint, which creates a serialized transaction. We deserialize it and send it. And for withdrawing, it's exactly the same. You just choose your type and an amount, and then it will just go through. And this is maybe a quick overview of how boosted works. So if I were to withdraw boosted right now, I go to withdraw, I go to boosted, I enter the amount, and then it says your 24-hour cooldown period. If I click now on withdraw, you will see the simulation here, which doesn't show the amount. It only shows that you have to pay some SOL temporarily because you create a new account which holds your withdrawal, so to say. We confirm that one. And if you now go to activity, you can already see here, this is what happens. We have now pending withdrawal, which finishes in about 24 hours. And after the 24-hour period, you would just get a claim button here. And then you would call this other complete withdrawal endpoint, basically, which gives you the next transaction.
All right, very cool. Would you have maybe for developers to directly copy and play around with this code? Is there the demo already on GitHub, or will there be like a demonstration that you could provide?
Actually, I can just push that to some GitHub repository. I can share the link afterwards and I don't know, wherever we want to share it. But yeah, I just upload that and then you can play around with that and continue from here.
All right, and for the audience, maybe we will post it afterwards on the YouTube channel and also on Twitter. So you will have it as a comment there to check it out and just copy and play around with it. That's very nice to have. And yeah, since we don't have much time left, what would you imagine that applications might be for this product?
Good question. I think first of all, Fuse is a very good example of an application that was to implement us just because it's a wallet, and not only native staking Sol is relevant to users. I think if it was to me, every wallet should kind of offer some kind of functionality to users to be able to earn yield on the USDC or whatever other stablecoin. And I think it's exactly the right thing that Fuse did here. It offers, in their case, only the protected yield, which is which makes sense from Fuse because obviously they are all about protection. But yeah, you could offer whatever kind of yield you want to offer, boosted, protected, or even classic if you wanted to. So wallets is probably the main application here I see. But also, I don't know, let's say you're like some e-commerce shop platform that offers Solana Pay or something. And in the meantime, between the shop owner received some money from some sales and the actual payout to the bank account, why not just put the money directly into Lulo Protect, earn yield, and yeah, why not? It's like super simple. It doesn't take anything else, just these two endpoints to call. I think that's probably the main use cases I see here. Yeah, everything that is idle stablecoin should use or should make those stablecoins productive for sure. Don't just, it's the same for Sol. Stake your Sol, and for USDC or for all stablecoins, I would say earn yield on your stablecoins.
Yeah, I actually had a discussion with a friend of mine who wanted to introduce Lulo into his startup, which would work in a way that you can have opportunities, just like you can integrate it really very simple as we saw. And the idea there was that users can buy some product and the company would stay like just hold the USD, and now you can simply just on top of that stake it for more rewards. So maybe for the developers in the audience, if you would do some e-commerce or just some selling products and holding dollars, then just integrating it for further API boosts, USDC boosts might be very interesting for you.
Exactly. You also might have seen this Solana debit card called KAST, KAST, where you have to load some USDC on the card before you can make purchases. It's also a very good point, a very good product where you could just put Lulo on top of it, and while the user is not spending the money, let the user earn some money.
Are they already having this thing, or is it like just a proposal from you?
Just a proposal. I think that's also perfect. Like as said, everything where money is just laying around and not being productive, and it's about stablecoins. Lulo Protect is at least here to give you the safest way to earn yield now, so you don't really have to worry about any risks on the side anymore. So those applications should at least consider using Lulo Protect for sure.
And KAST is definitely, it's also a wallet that I use personally for off-ramping crypto. So maybe we should talk to the guys.
We should.
Yeah, it's a great product. And for the audience, maybe if you have any questions before we wrap it up, feel free to type it off now, as long as you can. And also, if you would like to repeat this whole process or the whole workshop that we had. It will be uploaded on YouTube. It is on Twitter, so you can refresh it, watch it later, skip through the parts that you need. And yeah, the demo will also be uploaded later with the YouTube link.
We share a GitHub repository. Yeah.
Great. Justin, do you maybe have any alpha or something you want to share to the community?
I don't really have alpha. We just released our new product. I think we have to find best product market fit for it and try to push it as hard as possible. I think the alpha you can see already is that Fuse is integrating it. I don't know if any other platforms in the future will do so, but I think it's probably a good angle, and you should look for Lulo on whatever application you're using. Any other alpha? I know we might develop something for those beauty things here. Maybe we'll see some cool app in the future. Let's see.
Great, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'm also biased because I use Lulo myself. This is obviously not financial advice for everybody that's watching this, just for educational purposes, of course. But now you have the opportunity to use it and use it wisely. Maybe you can introduce it to your own product or startup.
Yep.
Yeah. I see we don't have any further questions. So thank you again, Justin, very much for the introduction. It was very pleasant to have you here. And then maybe we will see each other in 2 weeks for the next Developers Guild.
We will. Cool. Awesome. Cheers. Awesome. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.